Welcome to Humboldt State University. The United States is a diverse, safe, and fun country in which to study. This presentation video will provide you with useful information on how to adapt to American culture. The United States is often referred to as a melting pot. A melting pot is where many cultures and ethnicities live together in the same space. There is lots of diversity in the United States with regard to ethnicities, religions, family structures, gender roles, sexual orientations, and more. The United States promotes equality for all people, so we encourage you to respect these differences. Culture shock is the shock of a new environment. For some, meeting lots of new people and learning the ways of a different country and its culture can be overwhelming. You may have difficulty being separated from the important people in your life, such as family, friends, colleagues, and teachers, who you would normally talk to at times of uncertainty, or those who would give you support and guidance. You might experience several things, including feelings of surprise, uncertainty, confusion, and anxiety. You may have difficulty concentrating, or maybe you'll find it harder to focus. You might even experience health effects, such as headaches or stomach aches. These experiences are normal, and remember, you are not alone.
One of the things that we found in listening to HSU students talk about their experiences coming here is how common it is for new HSU students to experience some degree of what they often describe as culture shock. Now, this is completely normal for any new college student, living away from family and familiar environments for the first time. I'd like you to meet some current HSU students and let them tell you themselves about their experiences coming to and transitioning to life at HSU.
What was hardest for me to adjust to was, the culture shock. And coming from Los Angeles, coming from an urban city and moving to a rural area was pretty hard at first. Less people, more darkness, and not being able to speak Spanish all the time were definitely some things that I had to really adjust to before I could really fall in love with this place.
The biggest challenge for me when I first came to HSU was probably the large size of the campus compared to the small high school I came from, and also the distance from my family in Washington.
I think the hardest thing for me to adjust to coming to Humboldt State was not seeing my family every day. Like, my family is my world, and so coming up here, that made that really hard to do, but Skype really helped out with that. I was able to see them, and technology really helps with that.
What helped me to make the transition to HSU was joining lacrosse and a variety of other clubs, and that helped me meet friends and helped me make the transition as a whole.
And another thing was being a part of the ambassadors program. It forced me to learn about the programs here that the school has to offer, learn to love the school, and learn the amazing things that Humboldt State University is. And when you learn what we stand for, it makes you proud to be a Humboldt State student.
But I think what helped me adjust the most was joining the Lumberjack newspaper at school, because it introduced me to a small group of people who shared my interests, and it made the campus feel like a really close, tight-knit community.
Most importantly, I fell in love with everything around here. I fell in love with hiking, I fell in love with the redwoods, and until I realized that I'm in one of the last big places that has this much nature on this planet, and that I should really enjoy it, that really helped. Once I could fall in love with the nature, I could really focus on my studies. And so it really was being here. It really was hiking in Fern Canyon. Go to Fern Canyon. It's freaking awesome. It really was hiking in Fern Canyon that made me fall in love with everything, and then I became a real student.
Honestly, what made me fall in love with the Humboldt State University experience is its location. I started to explore around campus a little bit more, started to explore the area, and it's one of the most beautiful places I've ever seen.
I think what really made me fall in love with Humboldt State University was learning our graduation pledge. And our graduation pledge basically says that after you leave here, you're going to go out to do something that's socially just and or environmentally just. And that's our statement. That's what we want. We want to go out and make the world a better place. However we do that, whatever that looks like. That makes me happy to be a part of this and to have that degree that says, I'm from this school and this is what we believe in.
As you can see from all of these student stories, the HSU experience will be different for everybody. Getting involved on campus in activities that are meaningful to you is one of the best ways you can make the most of your college experience. With nearly 200 student clubs, several sororities and fraternities, multiple intramural sports teams, and infinite volunteer and leadership opportunities, HSU really has something for everybody. In addition, I encourage you to make use of the many campus resources that are here to support you. Whether you will find what you are looking for at the HSU Writing Center, the Latino Peer Mentoring Program, or the Disability Resource Center, or get excited about doing research with faculty in your major, there are lots and lots of resources that are here to support you.
There are plenty of fun things to do in Arcata and in the surrounding area. Get involved in the community. Eat some delicious and unique foods, both local and organic. Try new things. Go see some live music. Be aware that venues with alcohol are always limited to people who are 21 and older. You can also join a club on campus to meet people. There are clubs for sports, arts, history, everything. As opposed to European and Japanese ways of writing the date, calendar dates in the United States are written as month, day, year. This can be very confusing for students who are new to this country. It's best to write out dates using the name of the month in order to avoid confusion. On most holidays, business and non-essential government offices will be closed, and even school will be canceled. Traveling can take a lot longer than usual on these days because many people are traveling to visit their families. Plan ahead. Order any plane tickets far in advance and expect delays due to heavy traffic. It's a good idea to be careful expressing things with your hands, at least at first. A hand gesture might mean something in your country, but it could mean the opposite in another country. If you're not sure, you can ask someone. Just take a look at some of these examples. Recycling. Our beaches and forests are very clean. People who live in Humboldt County are proud to live in such a beautiful place, so we take very good care of it. Please reduce waste and use reusable items. Humboldt State University is one of the top green campuses in the United States. Green, here, means that it is good for the environment. Reduce, reuse, recycle is a common motto for sustainable living. You may have noticed, but Humboldt County is not like Hollywood. The weather here is very different. It is foggy and rains often in the fall, winter, and spring seasons. But the weather in summer can be very nice. Humboldt weather changes often and can be unpredictable. Please stay healthy. It is very easy to catch a cold during the rainy season. Always be prepared for rain. Wear layers and have an umbrella handy. Temperature. In the United States, temperatures are most often reported in Fahrenheit, and occasionally also in Celsius. To convert Fahrenheit to Celsius, Subtract 32 and multiply the result by 5/9. The following table lists a few common temperature conversions. We use the English system in the United States for weights and measures. These charts convert between the English and metric systems for the most commonly used measures. Homeless people do exist in the United States and are common in Humboldt County. In Arcata, most homeless people are harmless. They may ask you for money or for your leftovers. If you feel the need to give, it's better to give food. Transportation. You will receive free public transportation with your HSU Jack Pass. The 3 public bus systems in Humboldt County are Arcata and Mad River Transit System for local Arcata transit, Eureka Transit Service for transportation around Eureka, and the Redwood Transit System, which provides transportation throughout Humboldt County. The currency used in the United States is called the dollar. The symbol for the United States dollar is an S with 2 lines going through it vertically. If you are paying a large amount for something, like rent or tuition, or if you don't want to carry around a lot of cash, you can use a check. To get checks, you must set up a bank account. Come to the Center for International Programs if you would like information or help opening a bank account. There may be some differences for you when you dine in the United States. For example, tipping or gratuity is extra money that you give for good service. It is not included on the bill. Tipping is only expected in restaurants which offer table service. You don't need to tip at McDonald's. Tipping is normal and polite behavior. It is generally 10 to 20% of the final bill. 20% is for extremely good service, when the waiter or waitress was polite, attentive, and accommodating. Most Americans eat 3 meals every day: breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Breakfast is usually between 7 o'clock and 8 o'clock a.m. on the weekdays. It's usually a light meal with only 1 course. Here are some typical breakfast foods: cereal with milk, toasted bread or muffin with butter, or potatoes and eggs. Lunch generally occurs between 11 a.m. and noon. It is also a light meal with only 1 course. Typical lunch foods may include soup and salad, pizza, or a sandwich. Dinner is usually between 6 o'clock and 8 o'clock p.m. This is the main meal of the day for most Americans. Typical dinner foods are usually heavier and may include pasta, potatoes, or ethnic cuisine. Dinner is usually followed with a sweet dessert like cake or ice cream. Body language and communication are different in every culture. In the United States, people stand about 2 feet or 0.6 meters away from each other when talking. This gives your conversation partner personal space in which to feel comfortable. Let people move towards you. Don't try to force closeness. Also, avoid physical contact for casual acquaintances. An arm on the shoulder may be off-putting when you've just met someone. When meeting someone new, it is customary to exchange names and shake hands, like so. Your handshake should be firm, but not overpowering or painful. Here are some campus resources if you are interested in sports or other physical activity. The Student Recreation Center, SRC, includes the gymnasiums, sports fields, and swimming pool. The Recreation and Wellness Center, RWC, offers alternative classes like archery or ropes. Center Activities provides off-campus adventures like camping or backpacking, and leisure activities year-round. The HSU Library is a great place to study and do research. The HSU Student Health Center is where you can receive medical treatment at low or no cost to you. These qualified staff are ready to help. Volunteer resources. If you are interested in volunteering or are required to volunteer by your program or sponsor, there are several resources on campus that can help you. The Youth Educational Services, or YES House, and the Campus Center for Appropriate Technology are two excellent resources for volunteer experience.